what has happened overnight, and what do you make of the comment from the Defence Secretary to me earlier on that Ukraine's safety has not diminished in any way since the result of the US election?
Yeah, morning, Wilf. So we knew there was going to be a call at some point between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, given the Kremlin's overtures towards the president-elect at the end of last week. And it seems it has already happened. Both the Washington Post in the US and the Reuters news agency are reporting this call took place. The Washington Post saying it took place on Thursday, much earlier than everyone thought, of course. At that time, the Kremlin was saying that Vladimir Putin had no plans to make this call. Ukraine, we're told, was discussed, with Donald Trump saying, or urging, apparently, Vladimir Putin not to escalate the conflict and reminding him of America's sizable military presence in Europe. Now, these comments, or that first readout of this first contact between the two leaders post-election, I think will ease some of the concerns in Ukraine and amongst its Western allies, but not all of them. Ukraine is deeply concerned about Donald Trump's stance on the conflict because of what else he said on the campaign trail consistently. Over the last 12, 18 months, he has repeatedly vowed to bring the war to a swift close and has also repeatedly criticised US military spending and aid to Kyiv. If that is cut, he strongly intimated it will be, then that will potentially force Ukraine into negotiations with Russia, but in a very weakened position, giving Russia the upper hand on the battlefield, of course, but most importantly on the negotiating table as well, potentially seeing them, Ukraine being forced to cede territory to Russia. So Ukraine and its allies are very concerned how this relationship between Putin and Trump will develop. They got on very well last time, of course. There was all this talk of bromance. And it appears that Moscow wants to rekindle that relationship with Vladimir Putin saying last week that Donald Trump was very brave during that assassination attempt. He flattered him and said that Moscow was open to dialogue, but he did not water down Moscow's demands. They are still insisting that Ukraine must abandon its ambitions to join NATO. And also, if there is any peace deal, it must involve Ukraine ceding the 4 territories that Moscow holds, either partially or wholly. So I think there will be a lot of concern still in Ukraine and Western capitals about how this relationship develops. We haven't had any formal readout yet from the Russian side of this contact, but we understand that the current White House administration, President Biden, of course, will meet Donald Trump later this week. Ukraine will come up, and we're told that he will urge Donald Trump not to abandon Kyiv.
Ivor, thanks so much.